The Great Pyramids of Giza. Ancient Egyptian culture was admired by the Greeks and Romans, and continues to fascinate contemporary viewers. We understand this culture as connected to its geography, which limited foreign invasion and interaction, while also providing immense abundance with the inherent agriculture from the twice-yearly flooding of the Nile. If there is a monument that represents Egyptian culture, it is surely the Great Pyramids of Giza. The oldest of the great wonders of the ancient world, the pyramids are not only an incredible representation of the advances of civilization, they also speak to qualities inherent within Egyptian culture. Most of what we know about Egypt comes from tombs. Their greatest art and monuments were connected to their religious obsession with death and the preservation of the spirit, or Ka, into the afterworld. The Ka was thought to be able to occupy a preserved body, even after death. Therefore, great pains were taken to properly bury the body with the requisite possessions to enjoy life for eternity. It is with this impetus that the pharaohs, Menkaure, Khafre, and Khufu, or Cheops, Khephren, and Mycerinus in Greek, constructed the Great Pyramids to house their Ka, and the requisite images and objects needed in the afterworld. The design of the pyramids is thought to derive from the mastaba plan, which was a common tomb type prior to the pyramids. The mastaba has sloping walls that move inward and upward, marking the tomb underneath that housed the Ka. When the first known architect, Imhotep, constructed the stepped pyramid for King Djoser, he seemed to have stacked a series of smaller mastabas on top of each other, resulting in a stepped pyramid. He also set a new standard for monumental funerary complexes that surely influenced the building of the Great Pyramids, which adapted this design on a more grandiose scale a century later. The pharaohs thought of themselves as sons of Re, the sun god, and originally the pyramids were covered in white limestone. The gleaming sun shining down on these pyramids as they thrust upward toward the sky must have been brilliant, literally bridging the sun and earth. The colossal size and complex construction testifies to the wealth and power of Egypt and the pharaohs. With the twice-yearly flooding of the Nile and the protection from outside threats with natural geographic boundaries on all sides, there was a stability that allowed for such monumental expression. Limestone and stone would have been quarried from a great distance, transported across the desert, cut to the right shape, and placed into successive rows perfectly to preserve its symmetry and structural integrity. Khufu is the oldest and largest, covering 13 acres of land, and consisting of some 2.3 million blocks of stone, weighing an average of 2.5 tons each. There are many theories as to their construction, resulting in a topic of continuous debate. It is generally agreed that they used a complex system of ropes and levers, along with some form of ramp, either zigzagging up the side or spiraling around the perimeter. Beyond the physical feat of getting all of the stones in place is the scientific one of how the four corners were able to be constructed at almost perfect right angles, without modern tools that we take for granted. It is another testament to the height of this civilization that had such a sophisticated level of knowledge to work out the engineering and mathematical challenges their construction entailed. Amazing enough is putting the blocks into place on such a grand scale. Yet the pyramids also conceal interior spaces and a king and queen's gallery for the tomb. Obviously, the pharaoh began construction while they were alive, and understood that other tombs had been robbed and desecrated, and wanted to take no chances with his own. The use of relieving blocks above the hollow chambers to prevent their collapse by the weight above is yet another architectural and engineering phenomenon. By the time the pyramids were excavated by archaeologists in the 19th century, all of the tombs within had been plundered, most likely not too long after their construction. It would seem that by erecting an enormous grave marker, it acted as a beacon for tomb robbers, a fact that would lead to more discreet tombs in later dynasties.